Welcome, guys. You're about to listen to the Jake Vicious episode of the Trip Trap Talkshow. Yeah, Jake Vicious is a producer. He's also starting to put out his own stuff instead of working behind the scenes all the time. Super nice guy, not vicious at all. He gave us a lot of his inside knowledge.
Like this pizza's fucking burning hot, bitch.
This episode is brought to you by Burning Hot Pizza. Fucking be patient and then eat it later.
Not that hot, dude. Super hot.
Anyways, we talked about, lots of stuff in the music game.
Yeah.
Like how to succeed, how to get your music out there and get
Grammy artist.
how to get the inside scoop on the Grammys. Knowledge and all that. Jake's honestly being like an educator or something because he is super smart and super informative. We also got off topic a couple of times, of course, talking about how tall Taylor Swift is, which she's 5'10".
She's 6'4".
She's not 6'4".
She's 7'5".
She
6'9".
is literally a giant.
I'm pretty sure she's 6'4". 6'9".
But anyways, all the topics will be put down below in the description, so you can skip around if you want to. Before the episode starts, we're going to listen to Pack Me Up by Jake Vicious featuring Huntley, Mannywellz, and B.o.B.
Yes, I'm taking my time. I've been taking it easy. I've been watching the smoke rise to the ceiling. Oh yes, I'm feeling lifted. Oh yes, I'm feeling just fine. Yeah, I think I'm good now. I've been brought back to life. I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. Feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one.
Back me up another one. The bowl is in the dresser, pass the batteries. Light me up another one. The soul is in the message, learn the lesson. The green is right, I need a light. The light is green, so take a ride. The blue and red lights I see behind me can't stop me, lest they catch me high. Leave it to a gunner like me, you see, it's me, Manny and Huntley. I mean, we might as well be the new kings in the city with a drink that I make a nigga pee. In the seeds, I'm a beast when it comes to this. Humbleness runs on this abyss of lust I dismiss. The contrast of trust is mixed in the tip. I tip the waitress, the tip like tis tis.
I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. Feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one.
But we are not best of friends. I know who she is, baby, please don't pretend. I'm speaking so much truth, I hope you do comprehend. I used to pray the relationship will never end. We never really speak now, niggas just be asking how. I be high without her, cause God is my doctor. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh.
I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. I'm feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one. Feeling real high, don't you get me down. Back me up another one.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Trip Trap Talk Show. Woo! This time we have special guest Jake Vicious.
Sorry, go ahead.
Take two. He's a producer, rock band expert, beatboxer, as he was doing.
True, you cut
earlier.
a little of that. Sample.
Many talents. Jack of all trades.
Jack of all trades. So Jake, do you want to tell us how you first started getting into music?
Yeah. Cool. Obviously, thank y'all for having me. First off, I love the show.
Thanks for coming.
No, of course. I love the show. I loved being here and seeing what you do with other artists, too. That mirroring shit is dope. But yeah, no, I started out when I was really young. I was actually in a hard rock band called Dead Magnum. We were laughing about this before. Nothing to do with condoms. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Sure. But no, it was a lot of fun. I grew up in Jersey, so we were right outside New York City. So we would play like a couple little shows in New York and do a bunch of like Jersey stuff. But I had the most fun when I was hanging out in my friend's basement, like, and he would record us, doing our shit. So, like, when I was making the music. Can I curse on this show?
Yeah.
Oh, we curse all the time.
Beautiful.
I mean, if we bleep it out, it'll be a funny ass sound.
Fantastic.
So. And that'll be bleeped too.
Duck or something wild. I'm with it. Easy. My favorite thing was recording the albums and doing stuff in his basement. And he used to work with a bunch of, like, different punk bands from New York, like these weird, obscure punk bands, like, called Team Spider and like bands that had like 80-year-old men in them. They'd come from New York to like this fucking kid's basement in Jersey to record like these terrible sounding like super punk like 4-track tapes, and it was just fun. I loved it. So I got like my own rig when I was really young, my own Pro Tools thing, and like we were talking about before, I just used to walk around with the recorder in my backpack and like a microphone and just be like, yo, $20, I'll record anything. I'll make your shit pop.
So did you just naturally have this like innate like gift of just knowing how music production works? Or like, where'd you actually start with that,
That's a great question. I don't know. I love music always, and when I was young, I used to really like some stupid shit. Like when I was really young, I used to like the Muppets, right? The Muppets.
I mean, everyone liked the Muppets. Though.
Yeah, and they were old even then. They were really old. But like when I was like 3 or 4, I remember being like, yo, I really want to hear the songs like back again, right? Like they would do like I Get Around and like the Beatles shit, but it would always be like Muppets doing like clowning them. You know what I mean? It's like a Saturday Night Live for kids,
like Muppets EP.
Yeah, like
that?
Yeah, exactly.
Mixtape.
But I made a Muppets mixtape for real. I would like tape a recorder and I would fucking put the tape in and I would stand up and I would record that shit coming out of the TV, and I would like have it on tape so I could listen to it later. And I never really thought about that shit. Yeah, super old. I was like so tiny when I did this, but I never really thought about it. But I guess that's kind of how I got started in music production, I guess, or whatever. Just wanting to hear the shit back again. I just wanted to play it all the time and mess with the records. So yeah, that's a weird story, but it's definitely how I first got started.
You gotta bring it back like a little like bonus.
That'd kind of be a fire name for an EP. I was figuring out some EP names before. Muppets Mixtape is pretty good.
You're welcome.
The alliteration is sitting there. Would the animal be the cover? Probably. One of the families.
I know, all face tatted up, of course.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. The animal with the always tired. Yo, that should be dope. Muppets Tape 2019. I got it here first.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Blessings. We'll talk about royalties. But yeah, that's how I got started. And then from there I went to school at AU, was doing similar stuff where I would just like have the backpack and make shit work. But I really liked using their studio because it was awesome. So I tried to be in there as much as possible and got a couple internships when I came here. I worked for Sirius XM for a while in their studio, which is so sexy. If you've never been over there, right on New York Ave. Yeah, because so Sirius and XM were two different companies. And I guess the one in DC was Sirius, maybe not. But anyways, they merged to Sirius XM. So they had two different, like, dope studios. They built, like, this $1 million studio in DC, and no one uses it now. So it's sitting on New York Ave. You've probably been in the intersection. It's, like, Sirius XM and the Wendy's is, like, right here.
Of course, but Wendy's in there.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. And, like, there's all sorts of crazy shit. But, like, that studio in there is, like, $1 million room that almost no one uses. So we did get some big sessions. Like, I had a lot of fun. I did, like, B.o.B in there. I did, who's that?
Wait, you engineered for B.o.B?
Yeah, this was when I was doing Sirius XM. I was doing a lot of their live stuff. So like live from Sirius XM. But I did Big Boys, St. Lucia's Left Foot. When that came out, I was like, Big Boys, St. Lucia's Left Foot premiere. And he'd like come into the studio, talk shit. Sometimes they'd perform. Like I did Neon Trees came in and performed when I was there, which was dope. Cool. Right when that song Everybody Talks was like blowing up.
Oh, you've got like quite a portfolio for yourself.
Yeah. That was like some intern shit though. It was fun. Like it was awesome. And I love there's two engineers there named Jack McGinnis and Mike Taylor who are really talented. And they were my first experience on like a big sexy ass board. But yeah, no, it was a lot of like crazy artists. Like George Thorogood is a huge artist. Like One Bourbon, he's like super old, but like he's a giant artist. So that was a lot of fun. And from that internship, I also got an internship at House Studios, which is where I currently engineer and produce from. And run sessions and work with artists and some of the guys and girls that have been on this show, and you guys know a little bit. So that's what brings me to today.
And you went to school for mixing, right? Like
yeah.
Engineering? Okay.
So yeah, I did both because I was always like, I'm really into business too. So I did audio production and business as like a double major, just because I love audio production and I wanted to learn it. But I also wanted to have like a skill. I don't know if that makes sense. But
No,
something
that
to
makes
not
sense,
just fall
yeah.
back on, but it's important, especially as musicians and producers, to at least understand a little bit of like how you're getting paid, who owns your records. There you go. Period. You know what I mean? You're like a baker.
All that matters.
Be a dope baker. Get paid. You know what I mean? Like.
Do you think it's like important to like go to school for that stuff, or do you think like people can teach themselves?
Honestly, yeah, I think people can teach themselves. I don't think fine if it's the right program. I think go, and especially there are certain programs where, and this is all programs, but I feel like the people are way more important than the classes, right?
Yeah.
So like for example, if you go to fucking Berkeley in Boston, or you go out to California and you go to Berkeley in California, or you go to like NYU, like where these pools of super dope musicians that are doing the same shit and like will build and put out cool shit, do that. Like, you know what I mean? That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I'd go to like Full Sail or something like that. I don't know if I'd pay like Full Sail.
That's what pack at Full Sail.
They said someone was
semi hack little guy.
Someone was working on Kendrick Lamar's latest stuff from Full Sail. That's like
who's somebody?
Somebody. You don't know his name.
But that's what's in their pitch nowadays.
Is that somebody from? Well, so see, that's how they get you though, because that's the problem. Because
oh wait, they put the Full Sail in their pitch, or like
no, Full Sail was like someone. Like a graduate, like worked on Kendrick Lamar's,
Black
Panther album.
I thought you said the producer tag had like Full Sail in it too. I was like,
yeah, something like that. I thought you said that too. Like somebody was working on his album, like he's working on the album at Full Sail. I was like, that's probably not a thing. But I feel you. Yeah, I'm sure. Because the way the industry works, which is really dope, is like once you start getting your foot in the door and getting in some cool sessions.
It's all networking, right?
It's all networking, and you can kind of use those sessions to be like, yeah, well, I worked on this album, so work with me. You know what I mean? And that's how you start building with other artists, and you really start creating. So that probably is true. That's some alumni, but yeah, don't go to Full Sail. Don't pay. There's a lot of money for some of these schools. So know you want to do it, and then like just study your ass off. You can get that information.
I'm always a little bit skeptical of schools that have like advertisements.
Yeah.
Like, on, like,
oh hell yeah.
You should be skeptical, Sean, because here's the thing: why would a school advertise when people just go to school like regardless? Yeah. Think about it. Like, why do they need to advertise?
Yeah, because they're advertising to someone. To your point, right? Because they're trying to sell something. And I don't know. This is a weird tangent on schools, but
we love tangents.
Okay, as long as it's cool.
Go for it.
But yeah, like all schools aren't nonprofits. You know what I mean? So all schools are like, hey, we have this staff. Like they're educations and institutions of learning, right? So our mission is to teach kids to be not murderers and serial killers and shit. So we'll teach them like about economics and something that makes them not rape and pillage. Whatever. I'm with you. Fine. So that's the baseline. That much makes sense. But everyone who works for the schools gets paid a lot of money, right? Yeah. Everybody, from the maintenance guys to the dean of the students to everybody else. And so when you start thinking about it that way, they're not making like minimum wage. They're not like doing this for the love. Like all these schools are profit making things. Especially some schools like, all that shit's a business. Especially sports brings in a lot of business. A lot of these schools make tons of money.
That's what happened with Maryland.
Yeah,
Maryland
all that
makes nonsense.
Buku bucks.
God,
you know what I mean? On sports.
It went totally
good
south.
old Maryland.
Good old Maryland. And I love Maryland. Don't get me wrong. I love UMD. But I love UMD because of the people. Yeah, exactly. It's more about the people than it is about the school for me.
Oh yeah, that's
bad answer, I guess, but that's the answer that I would give, or long ass answer.
So you've been working with Jen Miller lately, right?
Yeah.
You just released a song with her.
Yeah, me and Jen just released a single together called God's Gift, and it's actually doing pretty well. I checked this morning, it's like 3,500 plays on Spotify in like a week or less than a week, which is like ridiculous for me because I never thought that would happen. So
are you God's gift or are you the devil?
I'm definitely the devil. I'm not gonna. Well, first off, I'm not gonna say I'm the devil ever. But yeah, I'm sure I'm a burden on a lot of people. But not like that song is kind of about like a relationship and about like a chick, right? And about like you're gonna meet or you probably already have or whatever. You meet like some really sexy ass girl or some awesome girl, and you're just like not sure if you should like really do the shit. You know what I mean? Because it's like we all do other things. Like we're all producers and creatives, right? Yeah. So like you're like, yo, I'm gonna grind and 6 beats a day, 7 summers. You know what I mean? And then some girl comes along. It's like, damn, she wants like 6 of those days. Like, oh shit, what am I gonna do? So you have to like figure out like in that first initial phase if she's like a gift or if she's a curse. And that's kind of what the song was about.
So how'd you meet Jen Miller and like how is it working with her?
That's a great question. So Jen Yeah, Jen actually found me. I'm pretty sure. Jen like hit me up online through like she's like slid in the DMs, like just like a Yankee. She slid in there. But I'm trying to remember if it was like SoundCloud. It was like a weird DM. It was either like a SoundCloud or like a LinkedIn.
I didn't know SoundCloud had DMs.
Something has DMs. Yeah, they have messaging or something, right? So I think it was a.
That much.
That means you must not. It must not go down in your DMs in the SoundCloud that much yet.
Nah, man. Those
just wait till this episode posts. They'll come flocking.
They'll be popping.
Popping. True. So yeah, so she like slid in the DMs because she had heard of some work I did with an artist from DC named Risa Renee, who's like a cool like go-go R&B like crossover chick. She's really, really dope, great singer. So Jen like happened, I think, to meet Risa, and she recommended House and just said like, yeah, you should go mess with Jake. And then she did, and yeah, the rest is history. We worked together on, I did this collaboration mixtape with House Studios and a bunch of artists called 5149, and because that was the address of the building, right, like 5149. Okay. So, but it had like 12 tracks with like 12 different pretty cool, like up and coming and decent artists in DC. Like there was this guy named Eddie Vans is on it, who's Chaz French's brother. Okay. Jen Miller was on it. This guy named Kokai, who's like won a bunch of Grammys. Carolyn Malachi, who's won a bunch of Grammys for like jazz shit. So it's like a really cool like collab project. And the first one we did was on that project. It's called Bullshit. It's something me and her did, and it's like very like Adele. But she's like super. Jen has a lot of like positive messages for women in all her records, right? So it's all like keep your bullshit. I don't have the time. It's dope. It's a dope record. But since then, after that, we spent like a year releasing like a single every month just under her stuff. Really? Yeah, and there's a lot of really good shit out there. She has a song called Down that everyone loves, a song called Hometown that's really dope, very John Bellion-y, the Hometown joint. And then, yeah, the recent one is God's Gift. Working with her is dope. She's awesome. She's a cool chick.
So would you say you're, like, right now her, like, mix engineer, her, like, main producer, or, like, or not main producer, but just, like, someone you're, like, working with, like...
I mean, I love Jen, and I want to work with her forever, like, for all time. She's trying to get me to move. She lives in Nashville, so she's trying to get me to move down there, and I've, like, really, really fighting the urge to. But she's, like, collaborating with a lot of people. I think she's about to release an EP. That's going to be really dope. I hopefully have a couple of spots on there. I'm pretty sure I might. But she's working with a lot of different like cool producers from Nashville and cool engineers from there. But so far, yeah, everything she's released, at least that currently lives on like a Spotify, iTunes, has been me and her together. So I'm very honored that we've done that so far. But it's not good. I don't think an artist should have one producer. I don't think that's good for them or the producer, for real. It's a lot of pressure.
Maybe for like a project, but like
if you want to do some like really sexy shit, if you and a friend lock in, like you lock in with your homie, and you guys do a project that like has a feel, or you flip like all Simpsons, you know what I mean, samples or something, like that's dope. Like just a single project. But just like for life, I don't know if a producer and an artist should be locked together like that.
It's gonna get stagnant.
Hell yeah, it's like an unhealthy marriage.
There's so
much. We don't have sex with each other probably. So that's awful. That sounds terrible. That sounds awful. But so not her main producer, but a good friend. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
So are you always looking for new artists?
Yeah, all the time. I just started working with a new artist to this week, and actually I have another new artist I'm working with today, believe it or not, for the first time at 4. She's coming to the studio, and we have I have a beat that I sent her that she's like in love with, so we're gonna do that. But yeah, always looking for new artists. Obsessed.
So like
hit him up, guys.
Yeah, no, low key, 100%, 100%, because I definitely am searching for collaborations, like especially with the new record. I'm going to start being a little more consistent releasing stuff just because I'm sitting on hard drives and hard drives of material with these artists. So, like, why not put some of it out? Yeah. You know what I mean? Artists get in their heads or make, like, projects, and sometimes the song doesn't feel like a project. Like, Mannywellz could do a disco joint. Mannywellz probably going to do a disco project. So, like, having a way to release that music is cool. So I'm definitely looking for artists.
I don't know. That guy's always breaking boundaries.
Mannywellz? Yeah, he is, for real. He's doing tons of sexy stuff. He's got some cool stuff planned, too.
Is he doing country yet? I remember in his interview he wanted to do country.
Yeah, I could see it. We've done some records together that the world hasn't heard that, like I said, I think will hopefully come out someday. But yeah, it's like him and some more acoustic guitar feels that like almost feels like country. And it's dope. It's super. He's a great songwriter. So yeah, I want him to release some of those records like Country Mannywellz.
So is there like big differences between like the different genres that you've like produced for? Like, do you have to use different strategies?
It depends. Sometimes the approach is a little different. So, like, country, for example. If I'm doing that Country Mannywellz records, I'm probably going to start, because I'm a guitar player, is what I started doing, so I'll probably start with guitar. But, like, for example, with this R&B girl, I actually use guitar for that too, so it's a bad example. But if I was approaching an R&B project, I might start with, like, an 808, or even, like, a vocal sample, or something like that, so let me get, like, some soul into a record. Yeah. So, yeah, they could be just different the way you approach them, but not in the way you finish the records at all. Like, you know what I mean? Because there has to be, like, just order to it. You know, everything's the beginning and
so like, what's it like when you first start working with an artist? I guess like, how do you like create like, I guess, a creative energy between both of you?
That's like low key the hardest part. Not the hardest part, but just like to get into a really sexy flow. Like me and Jen, like I said, we already put out whatever 10 songs or something crazy like that. And me and Manny have worked together for like years and years. And same with Sydney, built hundreds of songs. So like the first meeting of a new artist is kind of always like that first date. Yeah. Where you're like, yo, should I talk my shit? Should I like be reserved and listen to what she has to say? Like, does this work? Exactly. Because it's
are we
really,
vibing?
The vibe is like so real. But like it's really just you and them communicating. So often what usually attracts me to an artist first is like the song. Like if I hear a piece of music you've done that I really, really like or just needs to be like redone or reproduced, I'll really want to work on that song. So I'll reach out to you about that song, hopefully. Like there's this cover this girl did that's going to come out for me next year that's fucking awesome. And I just like heard her on Instagram doing it with the piano. And I was like, yo, have you put that out? And she's like, no. I was like, let me put that out. Like, let me produce that for you. And it's retarded. It's really, really good. But so the question was with the first artist, when you just start working with somebody, if the song attracts me, I'll have them bring some of that material to me. But also, like, if I know what feel they're going for, like this girl is she's a pop, not a pop girl, she's an R&B girl. So she sounds like Kehlani a little bit. But she's of Indian descent. So she, like, can sing in Farsi, she can sing in English. Oh, that's she's, like, a cute little girl. So, like, she has some shit popping. She, like, is working with this other awesome giant Bollywood star. So, like, to understand like what was going through with her, I had to like kind of produce a couple beats that would like match that feel, and then send them to her and pray that she fucking likes it. You know what I mean? Or then we collab in the studio, hopefully today, and then make the shit.
Have you ever had any like meetups with artists like the first time, and then you're just like, it's not gonna work? Like you don't have to say names or anything.
Or you can if you want to,
throw some shit. You know what I mean? Throw salt in them bitches.
Fuck you, man.
Salt in them slugs. Well, there's like, so I don't usually let it get to that point. Like, I try not to be like, if I know that we're not going to vibe, like some people are just a little too aggressive for me. You know what I mean? And aggression is dope, but there's just like certain people who I know it's not going to work. Yeah. I probably won't set up the session. But if you're in the session and it starts going south, there are a couple options. You can just be like, hey man, like I'm not really feeling it, or hey chick, I'm not really feeling it. So let's like call it for a different day, and then just like don't call them back, or not.
No, you just ghost.
Not really like ghost, but you can also work remotely with people. But I never let it get to that point. Like I'm very protective about my studio time. So like nothing crazy, but I love to get shit done, and I love to make stuff that I love. So I don't want to be in shitty sessions as much as possible. So like if I know you're kind of a jackass, like we probably won't mess around. So, sorry. Whoops.
You don't like to waste your time in the studio.
Yeah, because, like, studio time is not just precious, but, like, somebody's paying for that shit. Even, like, in this situation, like, this room, you're paying for to be in this room. So if somebody wants to come in here if someone wants to come here and bullshit for 8 hours and not get a song done, you know what I mean? That might not be what you want to do if you wanted to get the song done. So, the electricity, and then especially when you get into bigger studios, the same thing. Electricity, heat, utilities. So, like, it's cost, there's overhead in every situation. So you want to make sure you're, like, not just from a business perspective, but also your life. You know what I mean? You got a couple minutes. Use them good. So I'm very protective of studio time. Like,
how did it feel sending that first beat? Because I remember like you often just like send beats or like little tracks just to like get artists interested, right?
It's like nerve wracking. It's super nerve wracking. There's like that weight. We're like, oh, she likes it. Oh, she likes it. Oh, she likes it. You know what I mean? Like, and she's like fire emoji. I'm like, oh, thank Jesus. Like that's like the best thing you can get. You know what I mean? Like they bless you with the fire emoji.
I don't know, man. People use a fire emoji a little liberal nowadays. It's just like
posting. Better a fire emoji than a tear emoji, though. You know what I'm saying? There are levels to this shit. I just want the positive. But I feel you. Fire emoji is way overused. I'm doing the dancing guy a lot now. The little disco man.
You gotta switch it up.
Gotta be different. You know what I'm saying?
In the DMs is different than like Instagram comments, though.
True. Instagram comments fire could be anything. It's like happy 90th grandma fire. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not fire. You know what I'm saying?
Fire in the DM.
Fire in the DM is good. Or fire in the text is what I'm talking about. Because that's how you'll get it. Because you'll be like, yo. So she'll give you the email. You'll be like, hey, just sent over a couple of joints. And it depends. You have to like figure out how you're gonna pitch them, right? So I hope no one hears it.
It's like a first text.
Yeah, it's like a first text. You gotta be like, I love this for you, or I can't wait to see what you do. You know what I mean? You want a positive reinforcement.
Just like
everything. And just wait and just hold back. Because the first one's always a little nerve-wracking, but then when the fire emoji comes through, it's all worth it. So I'm with it.
So always check for that fire emoji. Yeah.
Fire emoji's big. Fire emoji. Wave emoji's okay. That's decent. Especially if it's a rapper and it's wavy. It's wavy. You still like that works. Okay. But like wave emoji's not good from like a girl singer. It's like, oh man. I don't know. Could use the fire emoji here. You know what I'm saying? Or some heart eyes. You know what I'm saying? One of the two.
Oh, and they send the heart eyes.
The heart eyes means it's real. It's a little too close to the line for me. Heart eyes. It's like, whoa, it's like, calm down. It's not that hot. It's a beat.
Whoa. Like, you know I just met you.
Yeah, we just
sent the first beat.
Heart eyes is a lot. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me started on the actual heart. Stalker shit right there. Stalker shit. You send me a heart, I'm never hitting you back again. Yeah, right. Close it. Shut her down. It's too far.
This has been emoji education.
Emoji education with Jake Vicious. I'm gonna tell you how to slide in the DMs, how to send the right emojis to get the dopest response to your beats. But that's pretty much it. That'll be a 4-hour class, $49.99. Brought to you from Trap Talk Radio. Kill it. Co-branding, bro.
So, are you like the one that's mostly like going out, like finding artists? Is that how you find them, or?
It depends. I mean, I am always actively looking, so I'm always like searching and scrolling and doing what you have to do and going to shows like a lot. But a lot of artists kind of find me, which I'm like really blessed for, you know what I mean? Or, you know, it's a huge blessing. Just because like thankfully when you start doing work with these artists, like the Jen Millers of the world and the Mannywellz of the world, when other people like what you do, they'll hit you. You know what I mean? And they'll be like, yo, who produced that? And she'll be like, oh, Jake, because she's dope. And then like that's how I'll get some referrals and stuff. So I do like it when artists come to me, especially if they're dope. You know what I mean? Like when they're trash, it kind of sucks. But especially when they're dope, you know what I'm saying? So I love artists.
What if the trash artists come to you? Do you still give them a shot, or is it just like...
I'll give them constructive criticism. So
that's good.
Is there a shot in a... Yeah, because I don't want to necessarily make something for you if you, like, say you can't keep time. You know what I mean? Or, like, you can't rap on beat. Like,
You're like,
just, I'm not going to do that.
But especially when you're listening to them in headphones for, like, a long period of time.
Like, it's horrible. Or somebody who, like, sings terribly off key.
Oh, my God.
Like, that is always a thing that has been and will still be a thing. I don't know why. But everyone thinks they're the best thing to ever happen.
Oh,
so,
my
like,
God.
I appreciate people who express themselves.
It's a shower singing. Singing in the
Yeah,
shower.
exactly. And I appreciate those people, but yeah, that's not a great moment.
I have like something going on right now. I've been like sending beats to this one dude, and he sent me back this shit, and it was
terrible.
Yeah, his voice was so. I was like, the verse was good, but like the hook was. Nah.
Yikes. Was it just not tuned, or was it just awful?
It was not tuned.
And it was awful.
It was pretty bad. And like
okay,
he thinks
tough.
it's really good. I'm like,
you gotta break it to him.
You gotta be like, I was gonna say, have you had the conversation with him yet?
You gotta sit him down, you know?
I told him to re-record the hook. You record the hook. I don't know. I'm still not a fan of it.
Better. Be like, yo, show this to a bunch of people. I'm still not in love. See what everybody else says.
All right.
Make him, and I mean, because I trust your ear a little bit. You know what I mean? You produced it, so like you probably know what you want.
That's true.
So.
You don't want your name on something that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah, and you can also coach the artist in the studio, right? So like when he's recording with you, that's like you said, that next step where you can kind of be like, hey, I love that verse, but let's work on that hook melody or whatever, or however you want to do it. But like if it's trash, probably don't put yourself in that situation. But
True.
you can fix it. Yeah,
all right.
I believe in you. I do. Inspiration.
I'll message him right after this.
Be like, show it to a couple other people. Get back to me.
Yeah, be like, I understand what you mean, because he probably still loves it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I just think it's great. I just want to really record it with you. I know you'll really bring out the life. I've been in this situation, so just feel like, man, I'm not there yet. I'm definitely excited to work with you. Can't wait till we make something really great. Show it to a few people, and let's work out a few other ideas. Bomb.
This is actually solid advice.
All right.
Great producer.
Thank you.
Yeah, because
you gotta be able to break it down sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you want to work with him, right? He's probably a good dude.
I mean, I met him on the internet. I don't know.
Bigger picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, figure that out, and then he'll be fine.
All right. Thank you.
He'll rub it off. People are tough. People are tough. Cool.
So, why the name Vicious?
Why the name Vicious?
Are you vicious?
You seem pretty chill.
I am. Well, I'm super chill right now. Chill ass Sunday. Chill ass Sunday.
But sometimes
I can be vicious. No, I always wanted to like attack music that way a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I thought about like Michael Phelps a lot when I was like trying to learn how to mix and like I was trying to learn how to produce. Just because like everyone talks about the 10,000 hours. Yeah, I know. I'm going somewhere. Don't worry.
Okay.
He's like, Michael Phelps. What are you, retarded? That's water. You do mixing. Ugh. You know what I mean? I get it. But there's a link there. I got you.
Yeah, the waves. The wave emoji.
Exactly. That's one. That's definitely one. But not like, because 10,000 hours, right? Everyone's read the Malcolm Gladwell stuff and about to be an expert in your field.
Yeah.
So like this crazy pot smoking band, Michael Phelps, he just loves to swim, and he like swimming for him is probably much more fluid, no pun intended, than like walking and talking to people.
Was intended.
Yeah, you see what I did there? But yeah, you spend so much time doing something that is like fluid for you, that it's like easier than this, than just like other kinds of shit. And so like that's how I really felt about music and mixing and producing a little bit too. And I'm still working on production, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I was like, yo, I want to attack this like viciously. Yeah, I wanted to do it every day. I wanted to do it more than anybody else, just so it was so easy. And I'm really, I don't want to like talk shit about myself, but I'm really, Pro Tools is my shit. Like, I'm very fast. I know it. I'm good at it. Like, I'm great at running sessions. So, it's just a skill I fall back on.
That's just your daily driver.
Yeah. And, like, I try to, like you said, as a daily driver, I try and do it daily. Like, I try and, if I'm not in a session all day, it's weird. Not, like, weird, but there are days when I've done, especially in the last couple of years, where I've done, like, 16, 17-hour days, all just in Pro Tools. You know what I mean? And that could be, when we were really busy, when House was open as a studio, it was me and this other amazing engineer named David Knox, who's also a producer, too, and great guy. And we had these 2 rooms, and yeah, we run 12-hour days every day for like 3 years, you know what I mean? And just different artists, all kinds of artists. Then you're getting tons of people who can't sing and tons of people who can't rap. But you're also getting really good people too. So you just have to like try and handle that.
Yeah,
you gotta wade through the shit a little bit, you know?
Yeah, but just use all those experiences to get dope though. Because if I can make this terrible girl sound good, then when I get to Mariah Carey, we out. You know, and she might not be
use the terrible people as practice. Exactly.
That's what's kind of unfair about music too, is it is actually like that. Yeah. Like, hopefully whoever you're recording this joint is great. You know what I mean? Hopefully your homie or whatever artist you work with in here is like awesome. But it's harder because, yeah, a lot of people at this age don't have the experience, so they're going to be a little shittier. Then when you get to somebody like a Trey Songz or a B.o.B who's done this for years and years and years, you're like, oh, it's so easy. I push 3 and it sounds great. You know what I mean? Because they're that awesome too.
Yeah.
So you kind of build like that. You know what I mean? It's harder in the beginning than it is. There's like a, whatever they call it, a parabolic learning curve or whatever.
So like, how long did it take you to be like this confident in your skills?
A while. I'm still working on it. Like, there's still moments where everyone thinks they ain't shit. The program crashes, the track doesn't arm. Like,
no.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. But probably recently, within the last, like, probably 2 or 3 years, just because you start, especially when you do it a lot, you start hearing people compliment you. Like, yo, I love your beats. I get beats from everybody all the time. Your shit sounds amazing. For me, that was more engineering, at least at first, than it was, production. Because, like I said, I'm still relatively new to production. But yeah, beat making, like when people tell you, engineering, when people just tell you you're dope forever and ever and ever, eventually you listen. And then travel and do your craft with other people. So I was very lucky, like we talked about South by Southwest, going to Austin and working a little bit. And then I've done sessions in LA a bit. And I just came back from New York last weekend. I was doing sessions all week. So like when you start spreading out and you start hearing positive reinforcement from other people, you just like trust your gift. Because y'all definitely have a gift already. Even if you don't think you're a great producer right now, you at least are making music, so you have that spark, and it's just about how you train yourself now to,
It's all about putting in the hours, right?
Yeah. Self-doubt kills people. You know what I'm saying? And there's still, like I said, I have lots of days where I doubt, but can't dwell on it on the good days. Fuck. Otherwise, you're not gonna go anywhere. You know what I'm saying?
My question, do you ever get ear fatigue? Because you're saying you're putting in like 17, 18 hours, 26-hour days. Like,
26
like how it's
true.
like
Day and a half. I've stayed up and done overnight. Yeah, all sorts of shit. We
like, do your ears like start to say like that. Start to give you like, the wrong perception? Because you always get that listening into a mix for like 2-3 hours. You start to like starts to morph because it doesn't sound as good.
No, of course. Yeah. No, there's definitely rules. Not like rules, but so in a session like with people, I don't really like to ever go longer than like 5 hours. Meaning that like if we're gonna do a whole album or something, it's fine, but like you take breaks and you do like different things. Maybe you like leave and go back and get dinner or whatever. Obviously they tell you this all the time, but like don't listen stupid fucking loud all the time. And I listen stupid fucking loud all the time. Like I love it. I love the shit that knock. You know what I mean? Like I'm not here to chill out. Like I'm here to have fun. So you try not to listen to crazy loud when you're doing regular shit. Like when you're tracking vocals, like when you're editing, like you don't need to be crazy loud. Like get loud when you start to mix. So like that helps ear fatigue. And then also knowing when to walk away. So like if you are in that space where like you're getting to be like, yo, I'm not making this better, I'm making this worse, walk away. Just be like, all right, I'll take it tomorrow.
Take a nice little break.
Take it tomorrow. Yeah. So ear fatigue is real, but you'll get through it. Get some speakers you love. Just like learn your room really well. So little stuff.
So you said you've like been traveling a lot, and I heard you went on tour with Manny.
I did go on tour with Manny. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, that was last year, like at the very end of last year. Yeah, so it's almost, I guess it's about to be January 2019.
So like, how was that? Were there any like cities that were special, or like, or like people that you met that like just changed your perspective on some stuff?
I mean, that was a dope ass summer. So we went on tour with Jidenna. So obviously we got to meet his team and hang out with him a lot. And everybody was like playing FIFA, and the guys were playing basketball all the time. Like I can't jump, so I don't play basketball. But the shit was fucking awesome.
You can cheer from the sidelines.
Hell yeah, I can drink in the stands. I can do a lot of cool shit. But so we got to meet obviously them and hang out with them and his creative director named Whippa Wiley and his manager named Mikhail, who like runs a lot of the Wonderland stuff. Like they're awesome people. And all the musicians on tour that we met, like his guitarist named Will Gittins, who's still a really cool friend of mine and just dope human. He's on Instagram popping. The whole rest of the band, Jordan, their drummer, and then Dre, who plays everything, but bass and keys and all that sexy shit. So yeah, meeting people was great, and just seeing people respond to the music everywhere. Like people love Mannywellz. Like his records do well. Like when he's out there singing. I was gonna say, have you guys been to a show yet?
Yeah, we went to his one at Union Stage a while back.
Okay, dope. Yeah, the DACA show, the day that the homecoming show.
He really kills it.
Yeah,
he's a great performer.
Yeah, he loves it. People are screaming and shouting every word. So it's a lot of fun, and just seeing the cities react like that was amazing. And specifically, all the cities were great. I loved LA. I loved everything in California was great. That whole kind of side of the country was like some of my favorite. LA and like Santa Ana. We did like Phoenix, which was really fun. Like everywhere in like the Midwest and like the South was really dope. New York was cool too. Like East Coast was fun, but the weather's shittier. And like some of the crowds, New York crowds are like some of the hardest crowds to entertain. Especially like if you're opening for Jidenna. We were at the Gramercy Theater, so it was like, I don't know if it's like 1,500 or 2,500 people or something like that. But it's like those crowds are like known for like kind of being like, you know what I'm saying? Like New York swag, like, yo, it's alright, but it's no biggie. You know what I mean? Like that's what they do. So
got like
I'm
an
with
ego
you
with it.
a little bit, because there's like New York people are tough. I'm from New York, so I totally get it. But yeah, so that's the East Coast is always a little harder. West Coast is fun, and Midwest, because a lot of people don't get those shows often. So like people in Louisville lose their shit when Jidenna comes through. You know what I mean? Because we're very lucky. Like we're right here, like DC and Maryland. We have like all the big shit happens on the coast. So we have the Verizon Center and the Stadium of Maryland. You get big ass artists all the time.
Yeah.
But they were lining up around the fucking block for these guys. So it was nuts. Awesome tour though. It was a lot of fun. It taught me a lot about how music money works and music industry works. Because that's where an artist is going to make a lot of their bread. He's going to be on the road.
How does the music industry work?
The artist makes a lot of their bread on the road. No, good question. So like I said, you're a baker, no matter if you're an artist or a producer or a songwriter, and you bake fucking music, right? You bake songs. So all you have to do is figure out the different ways you're going to sell the bread and sell your recipes and how people are going to pay you for them and what people you let have them to make you more bread. It's like you're doing anything else. So for an artist, that's like t-shirts, you know what I mean? Simple stuff, and like show tickets and like how you get paid. It's seats, streams, sales, right? Features. Now we're in a weird world, because now if I sat here with a goddamn Beats by Dre iPhone or some shit like that and a big ass cover that said Snapple, like I might get 25 grand just for appearing on a show with a Snapple logo on my shit. So that's a whole different side of the industry, and like digital marketing that's really made stuff a little different, but like just knowing your revenue streams and knowing how to protect yourself. That's like how the music industry works, because it's a lot of fun, and everybody, like, we grow up in this, we're gonna be rock stars and in the studio having fun, and money's not gonna be a problem because you're gonna get paid so much.
Right.
Don't think that way. You know what I mean? Like, start understanding, like, well, how do I get, when Post Malone picks up my record, how do I actually get paid, and how do I make sure I get paid? You know what I mean? Because you don't want to be one of those kids who gets ripped off, like having the beat and being ripped off and not getting paid bread. Or at least like knowing, like, so when I make this beat and Post Malone use it, even if I don't get paid because it's Post Malone, he can have it. He's Post Malone. It's fucking dope. It's going to change my life.
Yeah.
But like, even when he uses it, how do I make sure people know I'm on it? And I'm not talking about like a producer tag. Like, you have your PRO information, right? Which is, this is long and boring for anybody who's not a musician. Performance Rights Organization. Okay. And they give you what's called an IPI number and a member number. And those numbers represent you as a writer. And they say every time the shit gets played on the air and you wrote on it, you get some stupid amount of pennies. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be a couple pennies. You know what I'm saying? So your prayer is that when Post Malone picks up your song, because it's the biggest in the world, it's enough pennies from just your on-air performance royalties where you get enough bread. So you maybe don't take an upfront check for the beat. So like knowing that much, you know, at least knowing that little step of like how you attach your information to a song to make sure you get paid is really important. You know what I mean? It's pretty big. And it's boring and it sucks. And you start saying words like PROs and BMI and ASCAP and Sound Exchange. And it's like, fuck, I don't want to do this. I want to make 808s and that sound good. You know what I mean? So like, I'm there. But yeah, it's very important people kind of get the grasp of that, because the worst thing that can happen is the opportunity comes and you're not ready for it. It's not, the worst thing that happens isn't that you just sit in your bedroom forever not making records. The worst thing in the world is fucking Jay-Z and Post Malone pick up your record and like, yo, we want to do this. How do we clear the sample? Or how do you get your PRO shit? And you're like, yo, I don't have it. Give me 3 weeks. And they're like, well, no, we had to move on. That would be the worst thing that could happen to you. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to do it. They got like, yo, we got a Sprite commercial. We need a beat that sounds like this. I found your shit has a sample of California Dreamin'. We need to use this right now. What's your shit? Well, I don't really have nothing on it. It's like, that's all right, cool. We already had somebody make it for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that hurts. Don't be that guy.
Passed up because of bureaucracy. That's
it happens. That's the worst thing that can happen, is the opportunity coming and you not being ready for it. So,
how do streaming sales factor into all this? Because I know like artists don't make that much like through Spotify.
It's very, very little. So like Spotify's supposed to give you 0.003 cents per stream. So like 0.003 of a cent per stream.
Oh my god.
So it's like almost nothing. There's a website called Spotify Calc where you can like do, if I got 1 million streams, how much will I get paid? I actually did something really cool this week. So I used to be a governor on the Grammy board for DC. And so what that means is like each city has their own board of like musicians and producers and lawyers and people who are in the music industry who like host events and are actually supposed to exist for like giving out information like this, right? So like
you're doing your job.
Apparently, I'm not even a governor anymore, but apparently so. But yeah, they host like cool events. They have the artists come through and like give talks. Like sometimes you can like go to shows and shit if you're a Grammy member, which you all can be Grammy members even if you don't have necessarily credits. You can call it an associate member and still get all the cool shit. They have like a Christmas party every year. It's pretty lit.
Wait, what? How do you get into this?
Teddy,
it's called the Recording Academy. I'm gonna tag the shit out of them. We should do a little cut of this. They will watch this. They will love that stuff. It's called the Recording Academy, or NARIS, which is the National Audio Recording Association Society, or some shit.
That sounds right.
Something like that. I definitely got that wrong, but something like that. Or North American. Anyways. But yes, you become a member. It's like $100 a year, and like they give you opportunities to come to certain events that are open to the public, and also certain shows and like these networking events and party events. So one they had this week that was really small. This is back to streaming. Trust me, there's a reason. And they brought on this dude named Carl Cherry. So I don't know if you know this cat, but he's like this super cool young cat, and he runs fucking Rap Caviar for Spotify. You know that playlist? So that basically, if you don't know that playlist, it has 10 million followers follow this playlist. Playlists are like almost the new radio stations, because like when you go to your work and you turn on your shit and you go into type in your Excel document, whatever your stupid job is, you're gonna pull up Spotify and you're gonna listen to one of these playlists. So like these giant playlists do a lot for artists. So like if you're Mannywellz and you get on a few playlists, which we have, like if you got on one called Blessed, one called African Heat with like a couple million followers, those people hear his song in the playlist, and if you're like an engaged person, which is like 10% of people, you might go and see what the artist is, right? You hear a dope joint on a playlist, you're like, yo, this is tight, who is this? Mannywellz. You can either follow him, like the track, listen to some of his other shit, or whatever. So playlists are gigantic. So, back again. Carl Cherry runs the biggest fucking playlist there is, called Rap Caviar. And so, talk about music, the biggest genre there is hip-hop and rap music, by far. R&B, if you want to put them together. Just the selling and just the way it works, the streams, the activity, like the fan base, it's just gigantic. So he was talking about all this stuff and just about how artists get on the playlist and how like he'll look at how people react to the song and adjust that kind of craziness. When you get on one of these playlists, say you get a boost of streams, right? Say you get 26,000 streams or 26 million streams. Basically, you times that number by 0.003 or 0.008, because it actually varies. You get paid a different amount if the Spotify person who streams you is a paid versus if they're not paid. So like if it's
calculations.
It's a lot of crazy stuff. So you upload music to what's called your DSP, what people use like TuneCore, CD Baby, or SoundCloud, or any of those kind of things. And so you see a report of how many sales you got when you drop a record and how many streams you got, and they'll send you a check. You get that. That's called your mechanicals. So that's your sales and your streams of an actual record. So that's how people get paid for Spotify and Tidal. And Tidal's a little bit more than the rest of them. So everyone's like, the artists are supposed to advocate for Tidal, but it's all big business. So like, just do it. Just do it all. You know what I'm saying? But that's how streaming works. So get on hella playlists if you can, meet people, and stream, put out records.
I learned so much right now.
Did you? I was gonna say, I've been trying to learn as much as I can about all this shit for like years, and so eventually certain stuff started to click. About like how artists get paid. Same thing, music business, sales, streets. What I say, seats, streams, sales, something else. I don't remember. Merch, yeah. Sales is merch, but I feel yes. I don't know. I'll think about it. But anyways, there's some amount of S's, and it's tight, and I sound important when I say it, so I say it sometimes. But yeah, that's how that works. So just knowing how those things, and producers, you can get cut into all of it. So like, right, the person who uploads the song, they get the TuneCore statement, but if you have a percentage of the master, so this is, we're talking about bread again, you make this loaf of bread, it's sexy. You can sell the actual loaf, or the recipe that you made into the loaf, which is called the composition. That's your writing credit. So because you made the beat, right? You made the melody pattern, you made the chords. So you automatically have what's called rights to the composition, because you're a writer on the record. Makes sense, right? If you write lyrics, same thing, you have rights to the record. But whoever is the person putting out the record, who has the final say on like the DSPs, they own the master. That's where you get, everyone talks about publishing and why it's confusing. It's not. There's one amount of money for the piece of bread, there's one amount of money for the recipe of the bread, or the pizza, whatever you want to say. So knowing as a producer is why some producers start releasing records under their own shit, because then you start having control over the master portion of the record as well. So you can make decisions on if it can get synced and sent to a commercial. Because if Walmart pays Little John to use fucking any record, they pay Little John, because Little John or whoever owns the masters to that song. They don't have to pay the producer. So the producer doesn't get a cut of the Apple Music.
So one example would be like Murder Beats, right? He released like 2 mixtapes with him like as the actual like releaser of the record. So he would own the master copy of that.
Yeah, hopefully. Or this is when shit gets not crazy, but this is why things are funky, is like if a record label buys the rights to your masters or buys the rights to administer your publishing or anything like that. Because then these third middlemen start coming in and being like, oh, your bread makes a lot of money. I own Walmart. I want to sell your bread in my Walmart, and you will make a lot more money. I just own all of your bread. That's what you have to kind of figure out, like, oh shit, what's going on? Like, now things are starting to get serious.
Look at the numbers.
Now I'm seeing the business part of your major.
Yep, replace Walmart with Universal or Sony or Warner, and there you go. That's the music business right there. It's not as complicated as people think. It's just there's a lot of big words that people use because, like, honestly, it's based on sheet music, which is retarded. But it really is. All of our laws were written in, like, 1903, and they were based on, like, actual compositions. That's why it's a right to the composition, a right to the master. Because, like, no one pays Beethoven to play the joint, right? But you pay for the sheet music.
Yeah.
There you go. That's, like, kind of how that works.
Interesting.
Learning corner.
Bro, yeah. I'm, like, smart, I guess. This is stuff coming out. This is a thing. I didn't know.
Jake Bishop, smart. Who knew?
Dropping gems. Naris here. Jen Miller here. Music business there. I'm ready. Give me another one. Load it. Knock them down.
Wait, so do, like, sports arenas and all those, do they have to pay for...
So they get into, most of the time, most of the music in the world is owned by, first off, those 3 companies. So you have licensing agreements with the big major labels, and you can get licensing agreements from a minor to play the record. Even like, so when you upload to TuneCore, you do like have a blanket license that says some people you can choose to anyways have this blanket license that says people can use your record. You'll still get paid every time it plays. Like when Bohemian Rhapsody plays, those people get paid because it's playing over the air and it's actually existing, creating money from their composition. But someone who owns the master has to get into a licensing agreement with the person. That's why for real you see all this craziness with Trump where Rihanna and somebody else hit him too about like cease and desist because he didn't pay for the master rights to use the record, so they're allowed to be like, yo, you can't do that anymore. Unless somebody on his campaign has a deal with one of these labels, but they probably don't because nobody does that kind of shit. And so like these artists will make these big political statements about being like, yo, don't use my music because you're a fuckboy and you didn't pay me and I don't stand for what you stand for. So that's why all those things happen.
Damn.
At least the business behind why those things happen.
Is he gonna get sued?
If he keeps doing it. If he just like, it's like, bitch better have my money. Next time he comes out, they're like, yo, she's gonna go after him eventually, or somebody will. But I mean, probably not.
He's been sued a couple times. So I was
gonna say, he's like, hella, his legal team's gotta be dumb awesome. Like, I'm sure, like, he pays so much money for them Bambos, because he's always in some kind of horrible lawsuit. It's like he touched somebody, he robbed somebody, like, all these non-profits. Like, yeah, like, this guy's gotta have, like, a fucking fortress full of just lawyers just going in. Like, for real. It's kind of amazing. Like, eventually it's gonna all come crumbling down, but it's kind of amazing. Like,
yeah.
His legal bills must be stupid. Like, I can't imagine. Lawyers are expensive.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have a lawyer for real. I kind of mess with lawyers sometimes, but, like, only when you have to. Because them demos could be like, yo, it's $600 an hour.
Oh,
and I'll take an hour to talk with you on the phone about why this contract doesn't look good. And then you can call me again when you want to sign it. And it's like, oh, my God. You know what I mean? Like, I'm hurt. I'm over here like, beats? You know what I mean? Like, lawyers are intense. So.
Beats and legal talk for an hour.
Yeah, right? Beats and legal. Another mixtape name.
There you go.
Beats and legal. Sign here. Vicious Part 2. Pretty creative. I like that. We'll call you next time I need a name for a mixtape.
Oh, no, anytime.
Beats and legal.
Oh, a new revenue stream.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. There you go. There you go.
So I heard you have a soft spot for top 40 girl pop songs.
Yeah, I definitely do. I don't know which songs you're talking about, but I'm sure it's true. All of that shit. Like the example of the playlist, I go on New Music Friday, and anything with like a girl being sad as hell, I'm always like, oh my God, it's so good. You know what I mean? I don't know why. But yeah, there's a lot of awesome artists out there that I'm obsessed with right now.
Any ones that like stand out in particular?
So this is what, top 40 sad girl stuff? So, not sad girl stuff. Have y'all heard of the band Shade? Do you know anything about them? They're from here. They're from DC. They were called the Walking Sticks, but now they're Shade. They're really good friends of mine. It's a girl lead singer, and it's 2 twins who play fucking keys and guitar, and they use Ableton rigs, and they flip back and forth on stage. It's amazing. And she can sing her ass off, and she's gorgeous. It's like a whole thing. They're like the perfect package band. But they just got an Apple commercial. So dope. But they're like also girl pop. And I love them. I love Billie Eilish. I love... She's a fucking animal. Like, oof, that girl's
what, like 17?
She's like 16.
Yeah, I was going to say, she was 15 when she started to pop, I think, right? Yeesh. Yeah, no, she could do some damage. Her record is playing on the radio now, that rock record. I don't remember what it's called, but it's fucking great. So girl music, I love all that shit. I love Taylor Swift. It's like embarrassing to say.
Country Taylor Swift or pop?
It's not that bad.
A lot of all of Taylor Swift. I think she's like super dope. She's like apparently 18 feet tall, but apparently she's like super dope. Like I love her writing. Huh? You know Taylor Swift's really tall.
Really?
She's
I mean,
only like
18 is a
5'10".
little. No, she's not.
I think so.
Is that true? We might have to look at how tall is Taylor Swift.
Is she like 6 feet?
I think she's like 6 foot. I think Taylor Swift is
6'7".
like hella tall. Like I don't know if she can.
Crazy.
I wonder.
LeBron
Look up
James
Taylor
height.
Swift dunking and see if
Like,
anything comes up.
you
And that's
could've
how
been-
you know how tall she is. If she can dunk, she might be tall.
Yeah, look
Dunk
that up.
from the
bro.
free throw line.
We're tagging into the the mainframe right now. We thought you were all
God.
looking some shit up for real.
Yeah,
Just like Insta.
Just on social media,
Of
like
course,
always.
man. Promote.
Anyways,
Trip
yeah,
Tap
Taylor
Talk.
Swift's probably really tall. But I love but I
18
love
feet
her
tall.
music. I think she's a good songwriter. She writes a lot of cool country records. Talking about Taylor country, she writes for a lot of those other like Lady Antebellum and like some of those really cool acts. Like she pens a bunch of those records, and she's like bread. Talking about that shit. So I love her.
Yeah.
There is if you look for it. If you know where to look, you can. There's not shortage. You know what I mean? Selena Gomez is dope. She's super hot. That's part of it, I'm sure. But yeah, no, there's a lot of artists that I love. I don't know. What are y'all listening to?
A lot of trap, a lot of rap, a lot of hip hop.
Okay.
It like I don't have like an artist like I like follow. I'm mostly just like, oh, they're interesting. Listen to them for a while. Keep going.
I do a lot of new projects as they drop. We talked about John Bellion and stuff like that. Like as this project comes out, I'll like listen to the whole thing.
Yeah,
What
I do that
projects
too.
are you listening to?
The last one I listened to,
Listen to
like
Vince's.
Hoodrich.
Vince's project.
Yeah,
Great.
Vince Staples is good.
Not gonna lie, I listened to like Hoodrich Pablo. Like the other
Okay.
day.
A hell of a record.
Just like
Hell of a record.
just like wanted to listen to something stupid, but like his production that he uses a lot is like very interesting in terms of like the rap scene. So
Yeah.
I like to listen to that just to like get some varied melodies. you
Anyone
know?
who's doing something different, I like Juice WRLD a lot.
Yes.
You know what
I
I mean?
love
Like, and
Juice
he's
WRLD.
gonna take over. He's about to be
my
like the
God.
biggest fucking artist
Yeah.
ever. Like I see it. Sometimes I could see when these artists are about to be like it. He's about to be it. Like
Oh,
he's about
he's
to be the
killing
next
it,
one.
man.
Yo, did you guys see that hit piece on Post Malone?
Oh yeah.
Was it like he's the perfect pop star for a generation or something?
Nah,
He's bad.
I thought it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he
yeah.
was like saying he was like conservative or something like that. Like
We'll say he was like vapid and there's no substance or something like that. It was like the
He's-
perfect for our time, and
They-
that's not a good thing or something
They
like
called
that.
him dumb as a post.
Oh no, was it no?
Oh my
Washington
God.
Post went after
Yeah,
Post.
yeah.
That's so silly. So I love the entendre. You know, I worked with Post once actually for real. He came in the
wow.
house. He came in the
Wow.
house right after Dwight Iverson was starting to get big. So this was a few years ago. But yeah,
he's
he
still
came
pretty-
through, and I remember he was just getting big because his management team is all from England. And or at least the one main guy is British, and he's really cool too. But they had just done some show, some like not TRL, but some like live performance show, like one of those MTV joints or VH1 or something. And they were just saying it didn't go well, and they were all like kind of bummed out about it. But yeah, we were able to be in the studio with him. His guys used the space for a little while. It was cool. He was cool to meet. He smoked a bunch of cigarettes. He's really nice. Yeah, he's super nice.
Yeah.
That was before the face tats too.
Oh really?
Yeah,
this
probably
is
looks a
early
lot
phones.
different.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. I haven't seen him obviously in years and years, but I had a little session with them and it was cool.
Nice.
It was definitely dope.
Would you ever get a face tat? You think it would raise your street cred?
Oh, it certainly would.
Vicious
like
on the
hella-
forehead.
Hella teardrops. Yeah, like a big ass.
Or like vicious down the side of your sheet.
yeah, right, vicious. Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Probably not. Not while my mom and dad are still alive, because like I don't know if I'd be able to hang out with them. And this shit just said vicious on my face.
Oh man.
I got like a
So
super old
nice.
grandma too. So that would probably
Is
kill it.
everything okay?
Yeah, right. It's like, what's going on in your life? Like, always tired. I think he's gonna regret that. I do. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is not a shade. This is not Jake Vicious comes to Post Malone even a little bit. I just think like if and hopefully when my man lives to be like 70 or 80 years old,
he's gonna always
it's gonna be like it's
definitely
always
gonna
gonna
always
look
tired.
tired. Yeah, it's gonna look terrible. You know what I'm saying? So like, I feel for my man, but. They also live in a different kind of life, so I can't speak on his perspective. I'm sure he's been through it and going through it. Like Post Malone can't really walk in here right now. He could, but it's very unlikely.
He's pretty recognizable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
rough. I watched a
Very.
bunch of those music documentaries recently, and I'm starting to feel for those people. Like, I saw the Freddie Mercury movie. I saw the premiere of it, the Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen
Wait,
movie.
did that come out yet?
Yeah.
It just came out last weekend. I was at the premiere. It was on Thursday in New York. I went. It was dope. But I watched the Amy Winehouse documentary, same shit. I watched the Lady Gaga documentary, same shit. I'm like really starting to study a little more, which I always have, but just a little more. And yeah, those guys, although they're like super successful and they're like super talented, like a lot of them are not super happy. So To get that level of success where like people fucking flock around your car and shit, there's a lot of curses that come with that.
Do you know if there's like any artists that are like doing it right, that have like kind of found how to manage all this like fame?
I fuck
and
with Jidenna.
craziness?
I fuck with the way he does it because I met him before we went on tour. He came in through for a session at the studio, and literally this never happens. When big artists come, they have like an entourage of at least like 1 or 2 cars, or a fucking bus if it's like really like stupid, and they'll have like maybe 5 to the good range is like 4 or 3, but it could be up to like 10 or 15 people with them, right? And they'll come in the studio and they'll be a mess, and they'll be on tour, so like you have a lot of people with you and a lot of moving parts. But like, yeah, the first time I met Jidenna, he literally fucking Ubered the studio by himself, just walked up to the shit in a fresh ass suit. He's like, yo, I'm just here to fucking for my session. Like, we came through. We smoked a fucking J together. It was awesome. It was funny. Me and him smoked a J with my now current girlfriend, who at the time wasn't my girlfriend. But we like all smoked a J in the A room, and he just did his thing. But he was totally by himself and really like dope and respectful, and just like, I don't know how he did it. You know what I'm saying? Because in tour, like thousands of people scream his name every night. So I think he did it in a really cool way. He was super unassuming and like the nicest human ever. So I love him. I love a lot of them. Flume was the same way. It was just like 4 guys on the road who were super cool and just trying to quickly get in to cook up some idea on the way to the next city. Like, when you get into that business, right, when you're touring all the time, it's very much like, yo, you do the tour because the tour gets you paid every night, right? Money and merch and whatever you're selling. So, like, you're in D.C. today, it's Sunday. You say you play a show today. Say you have a show in New York on Wednesday. You have to just travel and get to New York, obviously, between now and Wednesday, and then if you're going to rehearse or do whatever you want to do before the show, but you also have, like, downtime. So what can you do on that downtime to make you either more money or just keep the momentum going? So, like, production and being in the studio or, like, you know, developing new merch or like doing radio events and shit like this, like talking to people. It's that kind of life. So when you see people doing it, you kind of like learn from them, like, oh, how do we do it? You know what I'm saying? 6 weeks on the road is a long time. I can't imagine 6 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 6 years on the road.
That happens on those big stupid old bands like the fucking Rolling Stones and Lady Gaga and Beyonce. They'll go on tour for a year. They'll be in Japan for fucking 3 months. In just that stupid little island. They'll be there for 3 months. And they'll just go all over. They'll go all over Asia. Yeah, and just... that's tough.
You don't really think about that, like, about the artist's perspective. Like, you just think, oh, they're going to be in the city at that time. But
and you're excited. You're like, fuck yeah, Lil Pump, J. Cole, I can't wait to see him. But it's like, yeah, because then tomorrow he has to go to North Carolina. Yeah. So, like, after the show, that's how I'm learning about tour shit. Say the main stage artist gets off at like 10:30, 11, which is what's going to happen. Yeah. There's a whole crew of motherfuckers that have to break everything you see pretty much down, load it into either like a bus or a van or a truck, and then they have to get on the road to the next city. So it's not often that like an artist is just like, hey, like, yo, I'm in DC getting fucked up. Like, that's not, maybe not a thing. If they have a day off, it could happen. But, like, yeah, usually you're jumping on the bus because you want to get to North Carolina early enough to chill to get to sound check for the next day for the next show. So, like, keep it moving. So it's like, and you have to be in another city probably because you don't really do the same market that many times in a row. So, like, you might do 2 in New York, you might do 2 in DC maybe, but, like, not really. So you're going somewhere else. You're going to Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Atlanta, fucking Florida, hopefully not, New York or Boston, hopefully not. You know what I mean? Like, you're somewhere on this coast probably, or you're going west.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you just learn a lot from those people. So who does it right? Small teams do it right. Post was a small team back then. I have no idea if he's a small team now. But Flume was a small team, did great. Jidenna did it great. Yeah, those are people I learned a lot from. If I ever was to tour or go on the road or anything, which is not in my immediate future, just learn from them. And we learned a lot from them. That's how I kept Manny shit together. And we're working on a possible, I'm not going to say it, but a possible really cool opening spot for Manny now. And if we go on tour again, I think I'll have learned a lot from this last run. A hell of a lot, for real.
Damn.
Yeah, tour life is crazy.
Yeah,
tour life
it sounds so stressful.
It's not that stressful. It's like the time of your life. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never have, I think, more fun than I had on tour. But yeah, especially for me, because I was the tour manager for Manny. So like, I had to we just had to hold it together. You know what I mean? I had to make sure they get in the van. Like, I'm the guy making sure the gear goes where it has to go, and the shit. And this other guy, Nadeem, also was tour manager, and also my mentor, Yudu Gray, was there for almost the whole tour, if not the whole tour. So yeah, it was a team effort, but it's a business, dog. It's real. Because you miss the show, you miss your cash. And you miss the show, you might get kicked off the tour and miss all your cash. Same with it's a job. So you gotta, there's a little bit of respect that goes in there.
It's always a job.
Yeah, it's always a job. So surround yourself with good people and then make it fun. Like, Manny hopefully had a little bit more fun because I was there. You know what I'm saying? Or had a little bit better of a show, more importantly, than had fun. But not fun, but more importantly, hopefully Manny had a great experience because, like, we really tried to make something great. You know, we really tried to bring the best show we could to every city, especially because it was just such an opportunity and such a blessing. You know what I mean? People don't get that chance. So, like, you really got to appreciate those moments. So it is a lot of fun, but yeah, it's also like, oh my God, like, I got the gig. Now I got to
go here, go here.
You know what I mean? Like, man, it's crazy. But
so it sounds like things are going great for you now. Like, you're making network connections. You're producing, you're mixing, like people are praising your mixes. Like, was there ever a time where it was just like, man, I don't think I'm like cut out for this. I don't think I can do this. Like,
bro, that happens every day, and especially like talking to like creatives. Yeah, like that happens all the time. Where like you'll send out beats. Like I said, I'm lucky because I've had some successes, but every time you get like a rejection, it's always tough too. So yeah, that's like a thing. And like as far as was there ever a time where I didn't think I'd make it? Kinda. It's popping. It's girls. You know what I'm saying? Can't keep this guy down. You're keeping your pants, Sean. We're on the air, Sean.
Come on, man.
Come on, Sean. We're on the air. Don't take it out now. Pause. But yeah, no. Was there ever a time? Yeah, there's because like I said with the Michael Phelps thing, I've really was engineering for a really long time. Like I feel like I've been engineering for like 6 years or something. And of course, some of that, like I said, was at AU, and some of that was like at Sirius, and even like I said, I got into this in high school. So I literally got my first Pro Tools rig when I was like fucking 13 or 14 years old. Like I got it for Christmas. That rig we're talking about. So yeah, there's a lot of time in that time where you're like late at the studio, you're working on a joint, and it sucks. Like, just their fucking drums are off time. The drummer didn't play on time, and you're cutting it up, and it's 3 a.m, and you got a fucking trig test or some shit the next day in college that you don't care about at all, but you're pretty sure you're not going to get a fucking 90 on it because you're here editing drums that don't make sense.
Sounds like a personal story right here.
It's a personal story. The hell, I've been there a bunch of times. So there's a lot of dark hours. But just remember why you like it. Like, I always thought, like, I was really well-fitted to be an engineer, just because, like, I don't really get tired of songs ever. Like, you can play the same song for me over and over and over again, and I'll probably be fine with it. I'll probably like it, and, like, I'll find something about it that I love. So, like, even with this JB album, I've listened to this probably, like, 4 or 5 times in a row now. This whole John Billy, and it's an album, so it's a little easier.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, most people don't do that. I know most people, can't listen to the same song over and over. But if I have a record, like, occasionally I'll go through, like, seasons, we'll have, like, one record. Like, fucking,
I know
such a fucking hoe. That was a whole week of my life where I thought I was the fucking man. I was, like, walking around snapping and shit. I was about to get square-ass shoulders. It wasn't gonna be tight. But, like, I must listen to that song 1,700 times. So, maybe not that, like, 300 times.
So you're more resistant to earworms, then?
Yeah, okay. Like it almost never gets old for me. So, yeah, like remember why you love it, and that's why I love it. Yeah. I love it because I love putting on that record and feeling great when I hear it. So, like, I wanted to be a part of giving that feeling to somebody else. You know what I mean? And that got me through the shittiest of sessions, and the girls who can't sing, and the drummers that are off time, and the fucking gear's not working. Like, there's a lot of technical shit that just fucks up our lives. You know what I mean? It's not really the creative. It's more like, why does my 808 sound like I imagine it? So it's just getting yourself to the point where, like, you're fluid, you know what I mean? You can control this, and I'm pointing at the stupid logic thing. You can control this well enough and fluidly enough that it becomes fun to express yourself with it.
True words. Yeah. Never heard them.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely in the beginning when you're learning like a new software or something, you have to go through all those kinks.
I've been fighting Ableton, not fighting, but like I'm like a boxer, right? And I haven't really gone into like knock this bitch out because I'm like I know I should, and like I know everybody wants me to, and like I know it'll be dope if I'm there, but like I haven't really stepped into that world because there's that apprehension of I already have such a nice ecosystem.
Yeah.
Like why am I gonna complicate shit even more?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you have to always be hungry and I listen to podcasts talking about sexy radio shows. And Oprah, actually, I got recommended her podcast by a friend of mine. And she has this thing called The Master Class. Basically, it's like 30 minutes with like super famous motherfuckers. There Simon Cowell did one. And I listened to, who did I listen to? That dude who sings Dance with My Father. Who is that? He's an old, not old, I keep saying that. It's not Smokey Robinson. No, obviously not Stevie. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But anyways, he was saying that, like, you have to, this is a 60-year-old man who's super, super famous. I'm going to remember the name and be upset. And he was just saying that,
does it start with a Q?
No, I was on Quincy, no. It's not Smokey Robinson. It's not Luther Vandross. But it's like, he has a mustache. I see his face. It's not Little Richard, but it looks just like Little Richard. Anyways.
Lionel Richie?
Lionel Richie for the win.
The mustache.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, the mustache. Like, I saw him in the stupid jacket. Like, I saw the whole shit. I just couldn't get the name. So Lionel Richie's podcast told me that you just always have to be hungry. You always have to be wanting to learn something else. Because as soon as you get to be complacent, like, yo, I'm the shit. I don't have to learn Ableton. Like, I'm great. That's when you start falling off the cliff. You know what I mean? Everyone's like this. But, like, you want to stay like this as long as you can. You know what I'm saying? So always learn something new. It's big.
What's making you want to learn Ableton? I'm just curious.
Ableton has a sound to it. So, like, a lot of the swing you hear in a lot of records right now, and even, like, the sound processor, I feel like, has, like, a certain texture to it. But, so everybody who used to create beats on an MPC creates beats on, like, an Ableton Push now. So, like, that feel, there's a certain swing that, like, Ableton has that, like, accomplishes a certain feel that's very in right now in popular music, especially in pop music.
Okay.
Trying to think of a good example for you. I would say like the Chainsmokers are probably the best example I can think of, because there's just a certain amount of like way it loops that it like always has this little kind of wiggle.
Gotcha.
So yeah, like that's the best way I explain it. Like the MPC users are the Ableton users now. So like it's just it's a cool tool to know how to use, and it's a good weapon. And for real, for live, it's like kind of a game changer, because a lot of artists use Ableton Live to like arrange their tracks, especially in the way current music is made, right? And you're a producer, you might want to be playing guitar with a girl singing and have it be in a dope ass show, right? Because a lot of people do stuff like that, or like a drummer and fucking Katy Perry. But like, how do you do that? Someone has to have some of the stems from the song and be triggering some of that like the whole time. Or at least you're playing the parts again, but almost all the time it's someone on Ableton, someone on fucking whatever it's called, Avid Live, someone on one of these, the Logic some people use, somebody on a pad, like somebody in there is filling out the song to make it sound a little bit more like the record, which is kind of crazy because it's not what we grew up learning, but yeah, Ableton is big for those things. So I really need to get a little more familiar, because low-key, so Jen has asked me forever, me and Jen probably would already be touring if I got my shit together and learned Ableton quick enough. Yeah, because she gets opportunities. She had an opportunity to go on tour with Imogen Heap, and she had to put it off for a little while. She's still building her band. So, yeah. I love me some Jen, though. Hope I'm not giving too much away.
I don't think you are.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
And she's starting to do a lot more gigs now. I think she has a big gig coming up in Nashville. And I know she just met a sax player she really likes, who like does some cool, sexy shit. So, like, you know, if you can be a sax player who triggers tracks, that's fucking fly. So, anything like that. But yeah, I want to learn Ableton bad.
Alright. This has been a great episode. Jake, we're running in on an hour right now.
Perfect.
So,
no one needs more than an hour of me, almost ever, for real.
So, you know, tell people where to find your stuff.
Hell yeah.
You know,
shout out.
And any shout outs you want to give?
Everywhere. You can find me at the Jake Vicious almost everywhere. I'm Jake Vicious as like the artist, so on Spotify just type in Jake Vicious and you'll see my beautiful face and my glasses. But yeah, the Jake Vicious on Instagram, TheeJake Vicious. Instagram, everywhere else, Twitter, Facebook. I really use Instagram though more than anything else. I don't really use like Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that.
So if you got some, you know,
yeah, if you're an artist and you're dope, reach out. I love working with people. I'm trying to build a lot more content too. We've got some cool things coming out of house studios too, so always projects, always musicians too, for real. I love meeting great drummers and great fucking guitarists. I've just started collabing with a really cool guitarist right now, actually Kel, who I don't know if you know, but he works with Sydney now a lot too. But yeah, great musicians are huge. So hit my line, hit my DMs.
And we'll throw all those links in the description as well.
Cool,
of course.
Yeah. See you next time, guys.
But before we do that, Teddy, is there anything you want to say?
Yeah, Teddy. I feel like Teddy doesn't talk enough. We should do a little 5-minute segment called Teddy Talks.
Smash that fucking like button!
Thank you, Teddy.
True.
And subscribe.
True.
And subscribe.
And subscribe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I can't lie from over here, the grass looks greener. It's getting hard to fight the feeling once I seen you. It's so easy to imagine after all these crazy things. I ain't just another link in your chain. Don't look me in the eye no more. Don't tell me to go and call me back for more. I think the situation resting somewhere I don't wanna follow. Cause I'm sick of these games. No, I don't wanna play no more. Don't pick me up and let me down. Don't spin me like a top again until I reach the ground. Maybe I should go. Tell me should I stay? Baby, I don't know. Show me now or let me go. You could be God's girl. Oh, you could be the devil. You could be God's girl. Oh, you could be the devil. Show me now or let me go. I wanna know what happens after what's forbidden is gone. When you ain't bored no more and it's time to move on. Then again you are different. It's simple. You tell me how we are different. It could be simple. You tell me. Don't look me in the eye no more. Don't tell me to go and call me back for more. I think the situation resting somewhere I don't wanna follow. Cause I'm sick of these games.
No, I don't wanna play no more. Don't pick me up and let me down. Don't spin me like a top again until I reach the ground. Maybe I should go. Tell me should I stay?